Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Brand new surveillance video released of a road rage attack that got a former sheriff's lieutenant and his son arrested. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashley Glass.
And I'm Paul LeGrone. Jameson and Wendy are off tonight. All new at 5. ABC Action News reporter Adam Weiner walks us through the video that was really the key to deputies making the arrest.
The entire attack was caught on camera. You can see a man pull into a Pasco County gas station. Seconds later, he's blocked in, then dragged out of his car, held in a chokehold, and thrown to the pavement.
He didn't know anybody, and all of a sudden 2 people are essentially attacking him.
Witnesses called 911, and when deputies got there, they at first assumed the guy on the ground must be the one up to no good, especially since the one holding him down was a former deputy, until they saw this video.
Looking at the video, we quickly almost had a 180-degree change here and say, okay, now we're looking at this differently.
That victim spoke to ABC Action News last night. He asked us to conceal his identity. He says this all started when he gave the finger to a woman who cut him off. Deputies say she then followed him to this gas station and asked her family members, former Lieutenant Peter Sayucci and his son Nicholas, to join her.
They threatened me and then started to they just beat the hell out of me, man. I mean, that's really, it's just, they just 2 vigilantes that decided to take the law into their own hands.
Captain James Steffens was disheartened to see what he says is a retired law enforcement officer stooping to senseless violence.
Because we're trained in defense, self-defense, we're trained in discretion, we're trained in de-escalation. Whether or not we're still active, we have that training when we're not active anymore.
Several witnesses saw the attack, but deputies believe Sayucci told at least one person he was former law enforcement, and so no one stepped in to stop him. Lieutenant Sayucci worked for over 20 years for the Hernando County Sheriff's Office before retiring a few years ago. But before that, he worked right here at the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. In Pasco County, Adam Weiner, ABC Action News.
Cop caught on video in disturbing fit of road rage trying to kill innocent man. A former deputy was arrested this week after surveillance footage showed him trap an innocent man in a gas station, then severely beat him in a fit of road rage. By Matt Agarist, December 31, 2017. Hudson, Florida. Road rage is a very real and very dangerous issue in America today. All too often a simple honk of the horn can end in a wreck, violence, or worse. However, when the person who rages carries a badge and a gun, they can claim legal authority to ticket, kidnap, cage, or kill you. All too often, because the aggressor is a police officer, they are never held accountable for their actions. However, in the incident below, an officer's aggression was so egregious that he was actually arrested for it. A former Hernando County Sheriff's deputy has been charged and arrested for initiating an unprovoked and violent attack on an innocent man in a disturbing case of road rage at a gas station in Hudson, Florida. What makes this act of rage so disturbing is that the former deputy wasn't involved in the initial act which led to the rage. He was acting as a hitman of sorts at the request of a family member. The incident began last week when the unidentified victim raised his middle finger at a driver, something that happens constantly on nearly every road across the country. However, the driver apparently offended at the gesture, and knowing her family is protected by the thin blue line, then sicked the former deputy and his son on the man who'd dare raise his middle finger at her. Advertisement. The deputy, identified as former Sheriff's Lieutenant Peter Chucci, who spent more than 20 years with the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, and his son, then tracked the innocent man down at a local racetrack and proceeded to unleash a violent fury on him. Read more. Cop fires on minivan full of kids. Chucci and his son then cornered the man at the gas station and pulled him out of his truck. During this time, the victim attempts to call 911, but one of the thug attackers slapped the phone out of his hand. The victim described the attack as 2 vigilantes that decided to take the law into their own hands. Investigators say Chucci and his son, Nicholas Chucci, dragged the victim out of his truck, repeatedly punching him in the face, trying to knock him down, according to ABC Action News. The report also states, the two defendants continued to punch the victim in the back of the head multiple times while the defendant placed the victim in a chokehold. The defendant's son sat on top of him in the parking lot, while the other strangled him from behind. Because someone dared raise his middle finger at his family member, this cop was seemingly prepared to take a man's life. What's more, this is the same person who the citizens of Hudson County entrusted to protect them. According to the report, Peter Chuchi has been charged with burglary, battery and false imprisonment. Nicholas Chuchi has been charged with vehicle burglary, simple battery, and false imprisonment. The unnamed victim's statement serves as an answer to the question of how this cop thought he could simply beat a man nearly to death and get away with it. "I believe that this man thought he was above the law," said the victim. Unfortunately, road rage among police officers is not an isolated incident. As TFTP reported earlier this month, Kieran Walsh, a 59-year-old Marine veteran, and partial amputee was left stranded on the side of the road last month after a police officer road raged on him for honking his horn. Read more. Drug war has failed governor to pardon thousands of people convicted for pot. Because Officer Stephen Salat claims the authority to detain people for victimless crimes, he moved to pull the person over who would dare to honk at him. Evidently he didn't like that, Walsh said of the brief horn beeping. Walsh, who had just undergone surgery to remove his foot over complications from diabetes, was then left stranded on the side of the road because Officer Salat confiscated his vehicle in his fit of rage. The amputee veteran was forced to painfully hobble home, causing him severe pain and injury.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.